Hello, my name is Ryan. I was just finished watching Xander Raymond Charles's video on tube amp lovers will hate this because part two. But I want to play a little bit. It's going to just
This one's not necessarily a hate comment,
because this comment is awesome.
Quite articulate and is a great talking point. So I want to bring this up to you guys right here, okay? Guitar Horizon ESP. May I ask one question, sir? Tell me why big studios do not sell their boutique amps, making tons of money and having a free room, more to rent it, and make even more money. Why do they not just buy a modeler and hit record? So in recording studios where tone actually is number one priority, they prefer tube amps. You cannot deny that there's a big difference in tone in tube amps, and it'll always be big recording studios making those tones. Now, just a quick little Google search.
So, for me, like, when I first heard that comment, like, me being a creative, I instantly go, because it's not about money. It's about creativity. It's about creating a space to allow an artist to have access to tools and creativity that they wouldn't have access to in their home or normally have access to, because at this stage, most creative people can't go out and drop $10,000 on anything boutique. Nor do we need to. Like, that's one thing that, like, I haven't seen any of his other videos talking about the differences between digital and analog. But, like, I know the science. I know that you can make an exceptionally good sounding record that even sounds like it was done on an analog rig with purely digital stuff. Now, to somebody who's more discerning, you might be able to just pick up on trace tales that it's not truly analog, but it's become so much harder to differentiate. Like, that's just facts. But it's funny because, like, that's my instant thought, and then he goes into this other part.
I found a news article here. The record plants redundancy, how the music industry moved on from recording studios. So this article is talking about how the music industry is no longer, relying on the big, legendary recording studios, because people can just do things in smaller studios or in the confines of their home. I mean, an artist like Billie Eilish and her brother, I do believe it was, like, they made her hit record. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I'm not the biggest, Billie Eilish fan, but the story goes like they made a legendary, groundbreaking record in, like, their home, in their bedroom, right? So that was just, like, one of many.
I just want to get to one other part.
Artists can create something without having
I don't want to
go
hit fast forward.
Sunset Sound or Abbey Road or Electric.
Go watch the video yourself.
Here's another article here. Is a recording studio finally going to disappear? The traditional recording studio might very well
I think this is the one.
Dinosaur that finally needs to die. The traditional studio was not designed with a focus on fostering creativity, but rather to achieve something that was technically difficult to do at the time. But times have changed. That's huge right there, man.
That is huge. That's, like, huge. Because, like, for me, I'm the somewhat naive creative type that thinks that studios were created to foster creativity. There's a reason why people would flock to those areas, not just to create something that they couldn't in their home, but to sit in the vibe of a place, knowing that people that you idolize may be pissed in the corner. When you dig into, like, Sunset Sound and all, like, the other stuff, you realize, like, some of those places were freaking nasty. But, like, there's so much charm in those places that have been allowed to experience more of the counterculture aspects of life that allow you to get into this, like, connection with creativity. And for me, like, the reason why I prefer vintage gear over new gear, or just used gear in general, because, like this bass by no means in my mind is a vintage piece of gear. This is like a late 90s Yamaha. But honestly, this fosters so much creativity in my brain when I feel compelled to play bass, because it's clearly been gigged to an inch of its life. Like, when I got this thing, I had to replace all the electronics. I haven't cleaned it. It still has the same strings. The pickups are original, but I had to replace all this stuff. It was kind of broken in. But yeah, got it for like $40 on Goodwill. And it's just fun because, like, I look at it and go like, okay, my punk rock machine from my teenage years is dead and is waiting to be resurrected. But this is hilarious because this is totally like an embodiment of that era. Like, I remember seeing most of these bands. I remember having these stickers, which is weird. So, like, there's something about this that just makes you want to play in a different manner. Like, if I were to pick up, a 64P bass, I wouldn't be playing it the same I'd play this one. And there's a different vibe about it. Even though it'd be set up exactly the same way. In fact, like, that one has 1964 new old stock electronics in it. The only thing that's not 1964 is the pickups. And just because, like, I give into that aspect of the tone seeker. And I understand it's somewhat ridiculous. Does it technically matter? No. Does it feel different? Yes. And that's the whole basis of the analog versus digital. It just feels different. You can have all the scientific data in the world. It just feels different. But as far as going back to what he was saying, as far as like, yeah, you don't need any of that boutique stuff to make a hit record. If your concern is the monetary and you want to be successful and you want to have that hit record and you want to tour the world and all that shit, why waste your money on the boutique? Like, there's no point. But, like, for me, if that is the main goal, I'm already not interested in you as an artist. Sorry. Like, you have to be exceptionally talented and still to, like, live in that mindset for me. And to, like, be appreciated. And there's, like, it's weird because, like, over the years, there's, like, some people that I'm not going to name any names, but there's some artists that I've sit there and go, I should really appreciate them. Like, what I'm hearing is pretty good, but, like, for some reason it doesn't resonate. And then, like, later on in life, you hear stories about just how much of a dick they are. or how much they focused on different aspects that wasn't really the creative. And you're like, okay, that's the reason it didn't really resonate. So I'm not going to play any more of his video. Go watch it yourselves. I'll link it in the description. It's pretty rad. I'm actually just going to comment now on, like, parts that I remember of it. Like, it's funny seeing people respond without, like, just talking trash and not, like, actually doing the research on the guy. Ugh. That's sad. But, like, honestly, I'm, like, sitting there looking at his guitars and going, like, you can't tell me the same argument can't be applied to guitars. I mean, because the same argument can be. You can get a guitar that's made out of anything, anywhere, like any material, as long as it has the capability to be plugged into a modeling thing. It's like, people have proven that. I can't remember the guy's name. It's all hairy. But looking at his backline, like I see like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guitars. And they're all interesting. Like that flying V alone is inspiring me to play. Same thing with that Stratocaster. I'm very curious about that red thing that has the strings all busted off of it. What's up with that? And what kind of Dean is that? I'm curious. Because like Deans are fun. Like I used to have a Dean from Hell, and oh, it was like I pulled it from Texas. It had a broken headstock. It was all nasty. It was perfect, and I changed out all the electronics, so it was like it had the 59 bridge pickup in the neck. It had the true Bill Lawrence in the bridge. Completely set up the same way the Dimebag had it set up. Oh. However, neck was too small, so it's like it wasn't meant for me. I ended up selling it to a Dime fan up north. Absolutely loved it, and had the same appreciation for the fact that it was just as beat up and had the same neck breaks and yeah. Anyway, see, like it's like that's, but like when it comes to just like creating a sound, you don't need all those guitars. That's just a fact. But there is something about having all of them that brings it to life, brings the creativity up. And it's not about the monetary. It's about that relationship that's fostered with those individual guitars. There's no way you're going to tell me that like that Flying V gets the same feeling as that Strat. Like even though they might be set up similarly, like there's going to be a different vibe about them. Just in like the way you have to hold it, the way you have to approach it, etc., etc. Anyways, I think I'm done. I think I'm done with this one. And I don't even want to go into the rest of them because like, he was just commenting on hate stuff. Which, ignorance is everywhere. People operate on emotions. Humans are human. In fact, that's the whole reason why I created a video first before watching the whole video. It's like I wanted to have my instinct response out there, being a tube person. Yeah. Anyways, I think I'm done. I'm going to turn this off. You all have a great day if you're still watching.